welcome back to another Saturday Morning Creative. Now I know the last couple weeks I haven't had any new videos. I've been trying to figure out exactly the direction and some new videos for you guys. But today I got a new one for you. So what I'm going to do is, for this video and maybe the next few videos, there's going to be a couple other ones down the line, but I wanted to create some new Inner Demons characters. And these Inner Demons are basically these little monsters that are always on our shoulders, trying to persuade us to go off course, trying to knock us off our guard. So things like laziness, procrastination, analysis paralysis, distraction, all of these little creatures and monsters. So what I'm going to do is we're going to be sculpting, and I'm going to be creating them in my own style. However, you guys make them entirely your own. I'm just going to show you the basics to get you guys started. And what's going to happen is I'm not sure where any of this is going to go. And it's okay, because the thing with the demons is that they're gonna be in a cute and creepy style, just because they aren't so hideous that you stay away from them, but they're kind of like cute to where you get close to them and you think that, you know, what they're saying is true, and you can get close to them, you can trust them, but they have that sly, darker side. So when I create these pieces, usually what happens is I'm not thinking about any one in particular. However, if I start to feel one, I'll start taking it in that direction. But I like to sculpt them, see what kind of character I can come up with, see where the clay takes me. And then what happens is, after it's done, I kind of make that decision, kind of write a story about it, and go a little bit deeper. So this is all going to be about just building this. So starting out, water-based clay. And yeah, we're just going to start out. So with the way that I usually work, especially for my portraits and pieces, is I always start with a head on a pipe. So when I started doing smaller pieces like my little heroes, instead of using a pipe, I just kind of use a little thing of clay and start with another ball, and then just kind of see where I can kind of go from here. So this right here is the start to our very own little demon character. Okay. Now, I did say I was going to make them cute, but then at the same time creepy. But since I said demon, I'm just going to throw these up here and see if they stick. Like I said in a lot of the other pieces, just throwing down clay and seeing what sticks, what you like, what comes out of it is going to be something that makes your piece so unique, because it's entirely your own imagination that really brings these to life, as well as the way that you see things. So looking at like an oil slick or water on the ground, or even like a marble countertop, you're going to see different shapes than somebody else, and it's going to be the way that you see things that's going to be able to bring other things to life. You know, just like looking into the clouds and seeing what kind of shapes are there. So here, you know, I place the horns. They're just really quick reference points, and I started in with some eyes, some brows. I'm adding in some cheeks. I added in a little bit of a snout. Just doing a few worms of clay here. And I'm actually going to extend that out even more. See what happens. See if I like it, see if I don't. Make the eyes just a little bit bigger, because I did say towards the cuter side, which means larger eyes just tends to make that work. Larger eyes makes it more childlike, which automatically adds in a little bit more of that cuteness factor. This side's a little bit thinner, so I'm going to thicken that up for the cheekbone. Need to go even more. There we go. Okay. Nope. So I still don't have nothing yet, but we will continue on and see what actually comes of this little character. So the demon head here is a little, basically you can look at the demon head on top of this part, this blob or stick here, which you can duplicate as the body if you want to, or we can build out a separate body. Since I was going to go with more of a child-like type of character, the cute and creepy thing, a lot of child poses would actually work for this and would be fun. So using this, if I wanted to do it as like a seated character, I'll do it a little bit longer. Actually, I could actually do something. I could actually do this demon as something like this. Kind of twist the head to the side, give it a little bit of character and emotion. That, like that, and kind of play with it like that. Maybe move the legs up a little bit so they're actually, the knees are actually coming up. This, maybe even have him looking up like that. Down. I don't know about down, but I definitely would kind of have like slightly up. Something like this would be kind of interesting for him. I'm going to have his head tilted a little bit more. Have this knee slightly up. He's going to be kind of rocking to that side maybe. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it like this. So what you see here is I added a couple worms of clay just for the legs and for the arms, and that's just placement so that I can get the gesture and how I actually want this piece to be and look like. I'm going to take the head off and kind of start playing around with actually fleshing these out, because after you get this in, this is almost like the bones, and you can kind of build out from here. Obviously up here he needs shoulders for this to connect to, and I'll kind of build up to make a neck for his head to go onto. A little bit more clay. Build out on both sides for his shoulders. That'll kind of go into his body. I'm going to take his both arms off just to get him out of the way. Add the shoulders like so. Kind of go to the back, and it's already a little bit rounded, but I'm going to add a little bit more to the spine like that. And grab this tool. Alright, now what I'm going to do is separate his legs, kind of pull them apart. The thing I want to fix is his stomach coming out too far, so I'm going to kind of shave that down. Have his back shave down here, because I'm going to add a little bit where the hips are anyway. Add a little bit to his chest. I'm going to kind of make a little bit of a rib cage there so that his chest comes out a little bit. Okay. And basically, you know, knowing your anatomy will definitely help out, but just kind of filling in and figuring out where you need to add little bits of clay to make it look right, make it kind of flow and work together. Okay, now when I add the legs back on, I'm going to gauge how big they are. You also got to keep in mind that they kind of, you got to add a little bit here to connect it to the hip. So I'm going to add a little bit around. different tool. All right, I'm gonna set the head over here. So, I'm just gonna add a little bit of clay right there. Kind of have it going out a little bit, therefore I'm going to have to add some on the inside of the leg as well. Alright. The other issue that you gotta think about is there enough space between where the rib cage is and where the body would actually, where the hips and the body would actually be. So he actually needs to be just a little bit taller, so I'm going to kind of squeeze the bottom to kind of pull him upright a little bit. And I definitely need to add just a little bit here to his legs to lengthen them out, just a touch. But again, just still adding clay. Like that. And just leave it like that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. This one's going to be a little bit farther down, a little bit more out this way instead of up. But I'm going to make this one actually look like a leg as well. Maybe a little bit more up than I originally had it. And I need to extend this one also because that one's looking a little short as well. Made him just a little bit too tall, so I'm going to kind of press that back down. Kind of connect his arms back on there. And in the back under here, I'm going to kind of scoop out a little to allow somewhere for his head to kind of sit on his neck. And just kind of go back to it and see what it looks like. Add on a little tail that kind of goes around or wraps around. Okay. Then you can start adding on, connecting it to the neck, seeing what areas you need to add clay and take clay away. I'm not going to connect it fully because I still want to take his head off so that I can work on certain areas of the chest and the back and see what I still want to play with. I still have to flesh out the hands, the arms, and things like that. And I'm not completely 100% satisfied with the head either. So that's another thing to kind of play with. But here's another thing to add on, just because a lot of my characters end up having these big ears, even though these aren't that big. We're going to add just a hint of them there. See if it kind of does anything or makes me a little bit happier. But I don't know. So this right here is a little demon that we were able to create and unleash because we decided we wanted to play with our creativity. We wanted to have some fun and see what came out. Now this is just a jump start, like all of the other videos for my Saturday morning. This is something to get you guys interested, to get you guys started. And from here, you guys can take this and go as far as you would like. See what kind of characters come out. You see, when I do these pieces right here, I start out like this. And I'll go for maybe about this long or maybe another extra half hour, and I'll see where I can take it. Then after that, I'll see if I like it. If I'm somewhat interested in it, I might set it aside and come back to it later with a fresh eye. That way, I can come back and see if I still like it, see if it's still strong, and, what can I tweak or add to it. Or if not, I just scrap it and say this was a fun exercise and I got something out, but it wasn't exactly the character I was trying to. The thing is that you're going to come up with all kinds of cool ideas, and you're going to come up with all kinds of bad ideas. For me personally, I don't enjoy sketching, and I enjoy just doing it in the clay and sketching in clay. And so that's how all of my other characters, all of my other original pieces, they all started out just seeing where the clay took me. And the ones that I actually liked, I decided to push a little bit farther and a little bit farther until I fell in love with them and decided to finish them. The rest of them just get scrapped or changed or tweaked until I like them. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little session. I'm going to be doing a few more of these little demon type of characters and getting them started and seeing where they go. If I like them, I'll take them a little bit farther, and I'll have some more videos for that. But here's a jump start for one of the demons. So go ahead out there, use some of the techniques that I showed you guys here, and create your own characters, your own demons that you're facing, your own little monsters. And if you're able to when you're able to create something and you decide you want to keep it, this can be a totem or an object that you can look at and say, I'm not doing what I need to, I'm procrastinating too much. I'm going to stand and I'm going to face this demon, and I'm going to tell him that, what, you're not going to hold me back. I'm going to overcome everything that I need to everything that I need to do. And it can be a little reminder for you, something to kind of face and battle against. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you guys in another week. Thank you for watching. Go get creative.